Hey, what's up, guys? It's Frankie again, and I'm here with Chewy.
How you guys doing?
And this is Talkin Football. I've been away for a while, but that's okay. Had some stuff going on, pretty busy, but anyway, that's beside the point. We are back to talk some football this week. Week 6 coming up, and the Falcons haven't exactly been the Falcons. They've been pretty damn bad, to be honest, but just wanted to get in real quick with their struggles. To me, oh my gosh, it's the offensive line is just terrible, man. They're not very good at pass protecting or opening up running lanes, and really that's kind of where our offense has really been dictated this year. We haven't been able to win in the trenches, and I think that's been a problem. Matt Ryan doesn't have time to drop back and look around, take his time. I mean, you hear it over and over in the broadcast when people talk about Matt Ryan. If you give him all day back there, he's going to dissect the defense. He's going to pick them apart, and he doesn't have time. We saw it in the New York Jets game. The Jets were all over the Falcons line. They're pressure after pressure after pressure, and that's really kind of been the story this whole year. So I knew that the offensive line was a question coming into this year. I just didn't think that it would be this bad. Honestly, I did not think the Falcons would be this bad on offense, and it's really. Some people want to blame Matt Ryan. It's not his fault, dude. Any quarterback will struggle behind an offensive line they can't protect. So, that's, to me, on offense, we need to get that squared away. It doesn't matter that Steven Jackson isn't in to create a running presence, because to me, Jacquizz Rodgers has proven over and over that he can be very. He showed flashes of brilliance to me, and I think that with a good offensive line, even Jacquizz Rodgers would be a good starting running back for us. So I don't want to blame it totally on them. To me, the problem on offense is the offensive line.
Now adding the wide receivers, now that's even keep causing a bigger issue now to the offensive line.
Well, yeah, now that Julio Jones is out for the season, unfortunately, it appears to be a foot injury. It's going to need surgery. But Julio Jones, man, to me, I'm not surprised that he's injured, because we were just running him pedal to the metal the whole season. And it's because of, just not having any other viable weapons. Roddy White's been playing on a bum ankle, and now he injured his hamstring, so we'll probably lose him for a couple of weeks now, too.
Tony Gonzalez with wide receiver. With Jones out the way, now you have another man to cover Tony G. Mm-hmm. Double coverage. He's not helping.
Yep. So, I admire Roddy White for what he's done as far as playing through injuries, but sometimes, if you're going to be in there, at least, God, how many times has Roddy dropped the ball this year? And that's why I'm not getting on his case, because I know he's playing hurt, but if you're gonna be in there, you got to catch the ball, bro. You can't be hurting the team like that.
They really need something. They need to figure out if the running game is going to be the passing game, because obviously they have none. Knowing the fact that now they don't have their key players, this offense they need something that throughout the week they need to come up with some new scheme, because their passing ain't going to work, and the running game has to really go ground and pound. But it all goes with the offensive line. It really does. If the offensive line doesn't get it right, Matt Ryan will never have time to have another player shine, or won't have the chance to give it off to give him some space. And it's all against that line. The whole offense line makes that offense.
Yeah, and it's the offense revolves around being more explosive, and that's something that they really wanted to steer towards, because for the first couple of years it was Matt Ryan handing it off to Michael Turner and passing off of that. Mm-hmm. But you brought up a good point. The offensive line not giving Matt Ryan time. The whole deep threat thing, throw it out the window, dude. Because I saw Matt Ryan take a bunch of chances down the field against the Jets, and Julio Jones made that one great catch with the one-handed. But for most of the part, it was just hurried passes. So that's not a recipe for success, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to. Why not go back to our old offensive ways right now? We've been successful without Julio Jones. We made it to number 1 seed. We got our ass kicked by the Packers that year in the playoffs, but it's not like we don't have that kind of. It's not like we can't have that kind of success by running the ball. And I mean, I know it kind of contradicts what I said earlier about the offensive line, but I mean, if we can just continue to get better on the offensive line, the more and more we play this season, and get back to more run the ball first and then pass it, that way we can take pressure off of our receiving threats. I don't see why that won't work. Honestly, I don't. I think that we could probably win a couple of games, get back to 500 first of all. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to get into the playoffs, I mean, to me, best case scenario, 11-5. Does that get us a wild card spot? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think 2 wild cards are probably, one of them's probably going to San Francisco or Seattle, either or. And then you got Green Bay and Chicago, and those 2 teams are looking pretty good right now. Not to mention Detroit. So
it's gonna be a struggle for them.
Really I'm not sure if 11-5 will get us in the wild card, but I mean 11-5 is a stretch within itself. So, but another thing I wanted to quickly talk about was the defense and the fact that we had no pass rush. I mean, forget the offense. We have no pass rush on defense. I mean, Osi Umenyiora is doing what he can. He came up with 2 sacks, I think, in the second half against the Jets. But Osi Umenyiora, man, I admire what he's doing, but he needs help, dude. And it's really been the same story since we had Abraham. He needed a complimentary pass rusher, and that's something that is still missing, obviously. Injuries have killed us in the defensive side. We lost Spoon Jones. He'll be back later in the season. We lost Bierman. Just a lot of problems left and right. And Asante Samuel can't finish a game. It's bad. So defensively, we need to get a better pass rush. If we can get a pass rush and at least play solidly against the run, I think that we probably end up even winning some of those games that we lost. So I mean, we lost by one possession. They're 1 possession losses. You know, it's not like it wasn't that bad. We're getting blown out. Just little things kill us. Flags here and there, drops here and there. So, you know, it's not looking good. But and then again, you know, it's part of the reason that we're not doing so good is that people are saying that we should trade Tony G. We're not trading Tony G, okay? And he doesn't want to leave. I agree 100% as to why they should, because Tony G, to me, deserves to go out as a champion. I agree 100% with that notion. That's the reason I wanted him to come back. It's not like it's totally over now, but it sure as hell just got a whole lot harder. Yeah. So, you know, I don't think that Tony Gonzalez said it before the season started, that he would only come back for the Falcons, and you know, that's why he wants to stay himself. He himself has said that he doesn't have any interest in being traded. The front office doesn't have any interest in trading him. So I admire the fact that he's a man of his word. But at the same time, if he did leave, I wouldn't be mad about it. I would totally understand. So that's basically my opinion on Tony G. To me, this bye week couldn't come fast enough. Oh my God, this has just been a rough start to say the least. But I think that right now we could use this bye week to get healthy, regroup, figure out what the hell we're doing wrong, and see if we can make any kind of adjustment, any kind of tweak to our offense, as far as the schemes and things like that go. And for God's sakes, find a goddamn pass rush.
And it really comes out to how they're ranked. I mean, they're 13th on offense, they're 21 on defense. Their passing is third in the league, is 313 yards, but the rushing is 25th in the league. They got to get that run game going, and even without Steven Jackson, they have to find a way. And the pass could stay the same, but they have to learn to hand the ball off more often. And they allow.
Well, they do. It's just that our offensive line doesn't open up lanes. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. And if they don't learn how to find, or if they don't learn how to run it down the gut, they're never going to give Matt Ryan any time.
I think Steven Jackson coming back is going to help out a lot. I think that's going to be huge for us. So I'm definitely looking forward to Steven Jackson coming back, although I'm not entirely sure how great of a threat he can be with our offensive line. I mean, the real big flash of awesomeness he had this year was that 55-yard run, and it was something he did on his own. The offensive, he cut it back against the grain and took off. And I mean, I'm not so sure if that run was supposed to do that or if he just said, fuck it, I'm going the other way. Exactly. But I mean, if the run was supposed to go to where the line was going, guess what? He would have been stuffed.
And honestly, the Falcons do have a chance. Think about it. Yes, we know the Saints are undefeated, and kudos to the Saints.
We're not catching them.
But the Panthers and the Falcons and both the Bucks combine all three teams together, they only have 2 wins. I mean, they have the opportunity to go second. I mean, at the very least, they have the chance to go second. But because I mean, the Panthers, I mean, that's a whole different story. But they have the opportunity to advance and get better, knowing that they can win division games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they can, and with this bye week, they figure out what they need to fix, who's going to be the next guy on top to be on the wide receiver, and just focus on trying to win a damn game. They really do just need one game to just get back on top. It only takes one win for this team, and if they don't catch it, you know, they really need this week off to figure it out. They're still on the clinch. They're not down and out. They are 1-4. I give you that. They have a horrible record, but it's only week 6.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully they get things figured out. Real quick too, I just wanted to say I got real pissed off to the Falcons after that loss. I mean, I just don't think we should have lost that game. To me, that was insulting. But I wanted to apologize to the rest of the Falcon fans out there for getting mad and getting angry and letting my emotion get the best of me. But as a fan, I expect more out of this team.
And please, guys, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. But and you're right, yeah. In your opinion, you know,
Instagram
and Instagram, a lot of your opinion got a lot of people's attention. You know, we all know that you love the game, and we understand the Falcons ain't playing the way they're supposed to play. You know, and it's true. You can't give a team 2 minutes, and especially as a New York Giant,
the Jets, yeah.
I mean, the New York Jets, you can't expect them to run the.
We finally get that red zone play that's been plaguing us this whole year. We finally get it. And then our defense fucks us over. But I mean, what they were playing off of them like the whole time. The Jets had plenty of time.
Yeah, Geno Smith didn't do. I mean, he had barely 200 yards passing.
Oh my god!
But just that drive, he made the Jets look 3 times better than they did the third quarter. Just for those 2 minutes, allowing an offense to do that really brings your team down.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, that the Jets didn't really deserve to win. Not saying that the Jets aren't a good team, because they are. They are a pretty good team, and I understand
on defense.
A rookie quarterback will have those ups and downs in games, and obviously this is one of those games where he has ups. But the Falcons should have made him look horrible. They had what they needed to do in order to stop the pass, and they really rammed it down. And that final touchdown play, you look at the team like you had the game in your hand, and all you had to do was cover. And Geno Smith really made a fool out of you guys. And that's
I mean, like I said, it was a scheme at the end. We were playing off of him. Geno Smith says, "Okay, I'll take these quick slants, whatever." Yeah. And all he needed was what? I think he probably ended up needing just 40 yards to get that field goal range. So,
and at the end of the game, they scored by a touchdown. I mean,
all I'm saying is it's unacceptable, and we need to fix it. And I'm not mad or I'm not apologizing for getting mad. I'm just apologizing for letting it get to me as much as it did. That's it. Because, you know, I shouldn't be getting that angry at the fact that we're losing. I should still be supporting them, and I do. But I mean, shit, it's been a frustrating process for me, as I'm sure it has been for other Falcons fans. But anyway, that's gonna do it for the Falcons. Because quite frankly, I'm fed up. But I mean, like I said, hopefully things improve from here on out. Now, moving on, this section is the 49ers.
All
so
right, well,
take it from here, Chewy.
All right. Well, the 49ers. I know you 49ers fan love this team, and obviously we all enjoyed watching them, you know, taking advantage of the opportunity how the Texans are failing. But listen, guys, the San Francisco 49ers, I'm just not convinced.
Well,
I'm really not.
Well,
this
me
team,
either.
This team is a great team. Don't get me wrong. 49ers, you guys play well. I get that. Not probably as well as you did last year, or probably not as well as you did week 1. But you have to understand, look at the teams you're facing. And when it's time to crunch time, remember, look at your losses. You lost the teams that are most likely going to go to the playoffs, and you're winning the teams that most likely won't. You have to look at it that way. When we face playoff contenders, we're not successful. And think about it this way: Kaepernick only completed 6 passes against the the Texans. 6 passes out of 15, with 1 touchdown.
A trivial day.
And that one touchdown was just that Vernon Davis play. And even if we didn't have that play, we'd still be winning because of our defense. But look how horrible the offense was playing. 3 interceptions. And honestly, Matt Schaub is just struggling. Yes, we capitalized on his errors. We did. But why can't we capitalize that every week? We don't. We don't shut out every team. We just shut out the teams that don't know how to win games. And that's the big difference. Now everybody's saying, well, now you have competition with Seahawks. Now that they lost with the Colts. No, the Seahawks are still a top team. In my eyes,
have one loss.
They have one loss only, and it was a loss that it wasn't even a blowout. They still had it in the bag.
They had the lead at the end. The Colts came back. The Colts came back and showed some resiliency. But I mean, to kind of elaborate on your point, the Niners did beat Green Bay, and that Green Bay isn't a scrub. You know, they're not just a whatever team. They're a good team.
Green Bay just got off their bye week with 2-2. I mean, they're still either 500. We don't know where they're going. But even if that was it, we still let them down last year with the defeat that we did in the playoff. They were still scarred. Seattle's playing the Titans this week. That's not a really competitive game. I mean, yes, the Titans are 3-2. I give them that.
And Seattle's at home.
Yeah, and Seattle's at home, and we all know how Seattle is at home. They when it's crunch time, They have one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. Now, being as that said, the help that we need, Kaepernick. You need to go to you got to go with your guns. The pistol offense may not be working. Just give the ball to Frank Gore. He only had 81 yards, but it was yards that we needed per play. And he completed 6 out of 15. Obviously, we didn't throw the ball as often. Good. He's good on his feet, but we're seeing a different side of Kaepernick now. We're not seeing a guy that just runs with it and just goes hell with it. Now that we're having this guy more laid back, we understand that he's not doing his job as well. He only had one good game, and that's week 1. Ever since then, tell me the last time he had more than 350 yards or even 300. He hasn't. You know, and I think this offense needs to go back to the old school run defense, and they're being more successful. 6 players from the San Francisco 49ers backfield carried the ball that game. 6 players.
Wow.
Which means that...
it means that they just don't... I mean, I don't know. To me, San Francisco, the thing is, they don't care how unsuccessful or successful it is. They're going to run what they run.
And they do.
And, you know, it's, I mean, it showed. You know, Seattle, they get their ass kicked. Next week they play Indy. They got their ass kicked. Like, you know, it worked against the Rams, which kind of surprised me. I thought the Rams would probably end up winning that game just because of how the Rams played them last year. But then again, you know, they ran the same thing. Run it, and then pass off the run. And that'll work for any quarterback. But like you said, I'm not completely sold on Kaepernick either. I'm not sure that he's that guy who can win the game for you. And, you know, I think he's a product of his scheme.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Kaepernick is a great player, but you guys are giving him away.
He is. He's a great athlete.
He is a great athlete, and there's a difference between being a good quarterback and being a good athlete. And many people take him because of what he's already done. But yeah, you guys have to understand, I see Kaepernick as still as a rookie, somewhat. His decision making ain't the best, obviously, and he still needs a little bit of help. He's one of those quarterbacks where he has an up and down game, and that's how it's always going to be. Frank Gore, Michael James, Kendall Hunter, Kyle Williams, and Andy Dixon, all combined for 33 carries. I mean, that shows a lot that they love running this ball, and and that's what they need to get into in order to get Kaepernick just more space and more time to really focus on his part when he runs the ball, when he passes the ball. On top of that, the defense, our injuries are really killing us. I didn't expect the Niners to really outscore them on defense. I mean, the defense scored more than the actual offense did, surprisingly. But kudos to them. The defense really did their thing. Without Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman was just amazing. 13 tackles. I mean, this guy really just he took this defense and was on top of things, and I like that.
And now you got problems arising from your defense off the field with Aldon Smith, and he's facing assault weapon possession charges. So
and honestly, I mean, Aldon Smith, if he wants to handle his own thing, it's great. I mean, he needs to be more of a player out of the field than in. Now the 49ers are going to let him obviously do what he has to do. But, I mean, this defense is just, without him, you can still see that they're still that pass rushing team. They mix it up. They still have Justin Smith. They still have Spillman. They still have Carlos Rogers. And, now with Patrick.
Then that Brock guy,
yeah.
huh? He got 2 picks. One of them pick 6.
Yep.
Matt Schaub, 4 straight weeks.
Yep. And that's the point. This defense is still a defensive team, for a championship team, and defense wins championships, and we've seen that. 34-3. It's a really big upset. But on top of that, how to get to the playoffs? Just run the ball. Don't give too much credit to Kaepernick because he's really not doing what he's doing. And if they really want to get to the playoffs, when the big games come in, they come out with the W. And moving on from that, from the 49ers, the one team that we found that was very impressed. I was impressed. I was impressed. The Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys ended up scoring 48 points. The way they got there.
That was a good game.
That was a great game.
You got to give credit to Dallas. Before this game, I did not expect the game to go the way it did. I thought Dallas was in for a long day. But they hung in there, man. You got to give it to them.
Now what I wanted to ask Frankie is the Dallas Cowboys, they I want to say they're a good team because it's only been one game where I've ever seen Tony Romo go for 505 yards for 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. But do you think this team has what it takes, the confidence that they need? I mean, they have the weapons, but do they have it on offense and defense to make it even, to have this and learn from it and get better and show it?
The thing about Dallas is they'll do this kind of thing, and it's so strange to see them perform like this. To quote, to the great Stephen A. Smith, who's on ESPN First Take, I watch them regularly. He says something that to me truly illustrates what Dallas is all about, and that's the fact that they're a walking piece of mediocrity, I think he says, and that they are an accident waiting to happen, and that they will get your hopes up, and just when you think they might pull off some sort of huge surprise, they're going to let you down.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened in that game. Dallas Cowboys were just, they had Denver on the ropes. Denver was like, what the hell? Like, this game isn't supposed to be this close, And Tony Romo was firing away, and he's just carving up the defense, having a hell of a day. 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he's just going off. 2-minute drill. Tony Romo, this is the shit champs are made of, bro. Go kick their ass and win the game. Interception. Inside the 20. Come on. Like, that's to me was like, it's not that they don't have talent. It's not that they don't have scheme. Tony Romo proved that they can move the ball in Denver. If you can hang with Denver like that, the way they did, that's saying something about your team. It's just the fact that Tony Romo does what Tony Romo does, and he throws picks at the worst time possible. I'm not saying that it's Tony Romo's fault about the loss. I'm not saying that. I think Tony Romo did everything he possibly could to win, but he did make a bad choice that makes Tony Romo Tony Romo, and that's the problem. Like, that's why, and you kind of mentioned it the other day. You said it's not real. How can it be his fault when he did all that stuff? And, how about blaming the defense? Look, Peyton Manning has studied that defense, I think, for 7 some odd years, something like that. He knew what to do against that defense. I wasn't surprised he carved them up. Yep. I do agree that they needed to play better.
Well, you can only do so much when you're playing Peyton Manning.
Yeah, man. You give credit. They made plays when they had to, and that's what I liked about their defense. They got that pick by Mo Claiborne at like the 4th quarter when they really needed it, and I think that was the one that gave Dallas a tie or got them the lead or something. But so they made plays when they had to, but I mean that kind of attack from Peyton Manning was expected just because he knew that defense so well. I think they have the talent. I think they have the scheme. It's just little mistakes kill Dallas. Little things here and there, bad decisions, bad plays, just something trivial will kill them. So. But
you gotta give credit. I mean, you would never think that that interception was even meant to happen. I mean, it looked like he could have dropped the ball easily, and we all would have accepted it because we know that's a pretty hard leap and catch. And I don't think Tony Romo would ever thought that he would leap for that ball. But when you want the game,
you're talking about the Denver pick, okay?
And it was a pretty good catch. But in my eyes, no, Denver, you messed up. I mean, not Denver, Dallas, you messed up. You have to really suck it up. But this is your time to prove to everybody that was just one game. And I don't think that they're going to do it because they are the Dallas Cowboys. They're the reason that they have that reputation for many years. But in my opinion, I want to see Dallas get better from this. They showed everybody that, I mean, 505 yards is something to talk about for
exactly. Sure. Dallas has to prove that that offensive onslaught was not a fluke. But do they do it again? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Dallas just got up for this game. Like, hey, everybody.
This is Denver.
This is Denver. We got to fucking now let's get this. But I think sometimes, now that it's Washington, they're probably just going to be like, well, you know, let's just go out there and try to win, guys. You know, like, that's what I feel like. I'm not in the locker room with them. I don't know how they act.
But we know how they play.
When I see them play, that's the kind of energy, the kind of vibe I get from them.
Yep.
You know, like, okay, guys, you know, let's... I mean, what are you going to tell me, dude? You put up 505 yards and 5 touchdowns on Denver, but you did diddly squad against Kansas City?
Yeah.
16 points? Like that, I'm sorry, the math doesn't add up, dude. You know, like, you can't tell me that the Kansas City Chiefs are that much better. You just played like shit that day, but you played like a fucking legend. Against Peyton Manning. You know, it just seems like, oh, well, Denver's coming. Let's really step it up now. And that's not the shit championship teams are made of.
Now, speaking of championship teams, the game of the week for week 6, New Orleans versus New England.
That's going to be a good one.
I honestly think it's going to be an interesting game, but not a good game. And when I say
really?
that, I think that it's going to be interesting because we got two... combined record of 9-1.
9-1.
Yeah, but think about it this way: New England got shut out. I can't. I know it was a bad game. I understand that New England fans are like it was just a bad game. Tom Brady, but hey, this New Orleans team is playing like they did when they won the Super Bowl. They are doing what they have to do. They are doing their homework on every team and winning every team. And honestly, I think they're gonna go play this team like there's no other team. And I give kudos to New Orleans. They're playing just like I thought they would when now their coach is back. Everything feels like it's all together, and I think it's going to be an interesting game how they play. But I don't think it's going to be a close game or a shutout.
I disagree. I think that it is going to be a close game, and it's not so much because of what New England isn't able to do, but the fact that New Orleans is just a different team on the road. In the dome, they're super dome. They're damn near invincible. Except to us because we could have beaten them this week or the first week, but anyway, they just they almost lost to Tampa Bay, you know, on the road, and divisional games are always harder than other games, you know. But to me, I think that New England is a really good team at home. I think that New Orleans is a very bad team on the road, and those kinds of things kind of make out for an interesting kind of mixture of a game. You know, as far as like the outcome, who do I think is gonna win? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and pick New England. I think they're gonna bounce back. They're at home. They might get Gronk back. If they do, that's just gonna be another problem for that New Orleans defense. I think, you know, I mean, last week New Orleans played Chicago on the road. You know, Jay Cutler. He had a pretty good showing against them. I know Tom Brady doesn't have that much weapons. But, I mean, if those guys can improve and get better and better, and if they get Gronk back, and if Amendola's out there, I mean, who isn't to say that, you know, New England has similar type success against that defense?
Very true.
So, I mean, and if anybody can scheme against a Ryan defense, we know that it's Belichick. You know, he's beaten Rob Ryan.
Yep, he is.
Can he? I mean, I'm not sure what his exact record is against Rex Ryan, but wait, no, I said that backwards. He's beaten Rex Ryan. I'm not sure what the thing is against Rob Ryan, but you know, it's gonna be a good game. I think if anybody can figure out that defense, it's Tom Brady and the Patriots.
But you have to give kudos to Drew Brees. I think that Drew Brees is doing a lot better than Tom Brady. I mean, the stats show. I mean,
well, yeah, but Drew Brees has a lot more weapons.
I mean, that's very true. I mean, you have to think about it. Tom Brady is working with a very young team.
Mm-hmm.
And many people would understand that this probably may not be the season that the Patriots go far, but for 4-1, that's pretty impressive. But is it going to be good enough to beat New Orleans? I don't think so. I mean, I know that they have a young team, and yes, if you have Tom Brady on your team, the chances are bigger. But this New Orleans teams is just I honestly think they played just like they did when they won the Super Bowl. They're 5-0. They're going in here with a lot of a big challenge, and Drew Brees will be 12 touchdowns, Brady 7. I mean, yes, I know they have a lot more weapons, but those weapons are what's going to get New Orleans to win. New Orleans are second in the league in passing, but the Patriots are second on defense. That's going to be a very interesting head-to-head comeback. But overall, I go with Saints.
I can't be mad at that pick because the last time New Orleans played New England, they beat the fuck out of the Patriots. They beat the shit out of them. But New Orleans was at home, so and I don't trust New Orleans on the road. So we'll see what happens. I'm picking New England to win this game. I think they're gonna take it at home. I think they bounce back.
Now the rest of the
New
game.
Orleans.
The rest of the game. Now we have. Quite a couple shutouts in my opinion, but a couple interesting teams that both me and Frankie kind of disagree on.
So New York at Chicago. Thursday Night Football. Can the Giants really go 0-6? Like, are there no depths to which this team will not sink?
What I like about the Giants is that they look calm. They do like just watch, just keep watching.
Keep watching what? You stink up the field? Come on.
And honestly, I mean, yes, they have the same team they did last year, and they get their ass kicked every week, and we can't understand why. And it's not that
they're not protecting Eli.
And honestly, it's not that they're getting their ass kicked; they're beating themselves up. They rely on one player the whole time, but. Bears take this.
I think the Bears get it too. I don't see how the Giants win in Soldier Field. Although I will say this, the last time last year when everyone was counting out the Giants against the Panthers on Thursday Night Football, the Giants won. So I mean, but the Panthers and the Bears are two totally different teams. I think that
the Bears are at home. So.
I think the Bears take this one. So next game up, Cincinnati Buffalo.
You know what? After Cincy went up and showed the world that hey, they beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Cincy. I'm gonna go safe on this one. I don't want to take a risk with Buffalo because I think Buffalo with EJ Manuel, they still need a little bit of help.
EJ Manuel's injured, so
yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Bengals too. Coming off a big win, I think that they're gonna carry that momentum into Buffalo. So Detroit at Cleveland. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Detroit. I think Cleveland got a huge loss losing their quarterback last week. And now they're playing with Whedon again.
Whatever team Reggie Bush is in, I'm going with them. Reggie Bush is doing amazing this year. Well, not amazing, but his stats are pretty okay. But this offense, they have what they need to capitalize on a really poor defense. So I expect this to be a pretty good game. But overall, Lions take this one more than 10 points at least.
Philly at Tampa. Tampa Bay's playing with a rookie QB. I'm gonna go. I mean, it's hard to pick Philly too, though.
It's hard to pick Philly because
not looking that great.
And honestly, I think Philadelphia, they're gonna try to do what they normally do and pick. And honestly, when I see Philly, they always pick on the little guys. When it comes to playing Washington the first week, I mean, just for week one, focusing on that game, they were fast. And I think this Tampa Bay offense, they want to see that quarterback go out there and embarrass himself so they can come back. But honestly, I want to pick Philly, but I sadly will pick Philly because Bucks ain't really much to they have nothing to show for.
This game's pretty tough to pick because of the way the offense is playing. I would trust Michael Vick more than Mike Glennon, that's for sure. But at the same time, I don't even know if Michael Vick's playing because he's got an injured hamstring.
And even if he is out, that's even worse. But still, the Bucks ain't playing their game. I mean, they're really not. And
I mean, Tampa Bay's at home.
That's true.
This is a tough pick. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Eagles. I think they could take it. Oakland at Kansas City. KC, bro. I think KC's gonna win. They're at Arrowhead.
You know what?
Come on. Oakland's looking good. Okay. I'm not gonna give them shit. Oakland's looking like a good ass team with a real pride. I mean, not fucking great, but they're looking good.
They're looking good. Now,
Kansas City's looking better to me.
Now, I disagree with Frankie before, but when I look at it, they're playing at home and they're 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give it for the Chiefs. They're doing their thing. They are really doing their thing.
I like Terrell Pryor. I like what he's doing, but Kansas City at home, with that fan base, I mean, yes, Kansas City. Pittsburgh at New York Jets. Pittsburgh's playing like shit. The New York Jets just got a huge win.
Over
the
what's that one team called?
Shut up. I'm going with those fucking Jets, not because I think they're great, but the Steelers are worse.
Going with the Jets. Then they got this.
Yeah, so Jets take this at home. Geno Smith plays better at home.
Yep.
Just got this. Green Bay, Baltimore. Here we go.
Yeah, I like how you just moved on from that very fast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Shut up.
Green Bay versus Baltimore. This is going to be a pretty interesting game.
It is.
It really is. I think the reason why I say that is because both quarterbacks they're pretty similar. I mean, they both passing yards. They're only off by a couple 20 yards. It's hard because you can tell that the Ravens struggle. They do with all the new things that they have to deal with the new offense they have to roll with. And I understand that Green Bay are no different. They really aren't. But in my opinion, I don't know. This is gonna be a.
The Baltimore Ravens. I think they played better since their Week 1 slaughter from the Denver Broncos. Their defense has stepped up. They've looked better. But I think Green Bay is gonna go in there and handle business against the Ravens. I don't think Joe Flacco and the Ravens can keep up with the Packers. Honestly, I don't. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big-ass game. Hopefully so, because he's my fantasy quarterback. So. Who's it going to be, Chewy? Let's hear it. Pick!
I'm going to go with Baltimore. I'm going to go with Baltimore.
I like our first split decision.
I think I'm only going with Baltimore. I think if they use Ray Rice a lot more, I think this offense has a bigger chance of scoring against this defense, because this defense without Matthews it's just a defense. I mean, really much. They don't really have that key player, and I'm gonna go with Baltimore in this one.
All right, St. Louis, Houston. Who do you got?
I got the Rams. I got the Rams winning. Just because the Houston are just so far down that they really need to face a Jaguar team to get back up. I honestly think that the Rams have it.
The Rams are a good team. Before we started out, I wanted to pick the Rams. Looking back now, this might be the kind of game Houston needs, like you said, to kind of get their confidence back. As much as the Houston Texans have been sucking, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick them. I think they bounced back this week at home against the Rams team. I think to me is very beatable. So, Carolina, Minnesota. Here we go. Josh Freeman, the new Viking.
Okay. Well, obviously we know that Josh Freeman is not going to play. I mean, he just barely got signed, for God's sakes. He needs to really study this offense. Well, first of all, who do you think is going to start?
I think probably Castle. I think Castle's slated to start. I'm not sure if Ponder's back from his injury, but I don't know. I don't think it matters, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Panthers, though. I think that I know they got Adrian Peterson. I know, but gosh.
I think if they focus more on Adrian Peterson and everybody stops talking about the quarterback issue, they could actually ram it down this team. I mean, honestly, the Panthers.
The Panthers have one of the best front sevens, though. I mean, they're really underrated on defense, to be totally honest with you.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And I'm not sure I trust whoever's back there. I like I said, I know they have Adrian Peterson, but I don't really trust who's under center. I don't really care who it is. I don't trust them. Same could be said for the Panthers, though. I really don't trust them either.
But you think about it this way: the Carolina Panthers are third on defense.
Devil I know, devil I don't know. I'm taking the Panthers.
Taking the Panthers.
All right, next game: Jacksonville, Denver. Hey, Chewy, what's the problem with Jacksonville?
Everything.
All right, Denver it is. Tennessee, Seattle.
You know what? I hate Seattle, so I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly think I won't go with Tennessee. They're 3-2. I understand. Look, I'm just gonna put it this way.
Seattle.
I want to see a big upset, and I'm gonna see it coming Sunday.
Wow, that's pretty bold. I'm taking Seattle. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid, but that was a stupid pick, honestly. Arizona, San Francisco.
Too easy. San Francisco.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yep.
I do too. Indianapolis, San Diego.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a good one. I think that's
Colts.
Colts, yeah, I say Colts too. I'm not gonna say the Colts can't travel. They went to freaking San Francisco and won. Why can't they go into San Diego and win? So
Exactly.
I'm picking the Colts. So that'll do it for this one. Looks like where's the record at? Frank's jumped out ahead of Chewy by 2 games. 24-8 is my record now. 22-10 for Chewy.
So Seahawks. I hope you
know.
guys just bow down and let.
Oh, we gotta pick Dallas and Washington. I picked.
Man,
I'm gonna go with Dallas.
I'm gonna go with Washington. RG3 may be not playing his best, but he's gonna get there eventually. And I think this defense. Yes, I understand you played Manning. You allowed 51 points. I don't think this defense is getting any better.
I don't think they're gonna allow that to happen against RG3. And I think Dallas is at home. Well, they are at home. I think so. I know they're not invincible at home. I know they don't exactly have a great home field advantage, but I think they're going to play Washington very well. RG3, you got to show me that you're a dominating force because to me, totally honestly, you're not. Yeah, I haven't seen it from you. So I'm picking Dallas. I think they're coming off, a tough loss, but huge momentum, and I think they're going to carry that into the next week. So. That'll do it for today. We'll see you guys next week. Look forward to another great week of football. And until then, we'll see you guys later.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
See ya.